Hello and welcome to another Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to create a beautiful magazine-style portrait, which is going to include almost like a very natural, the girl next door look type photo. Now, originally, CoverGirl coined the phrase "easy breezy, beautiful color girl," and what they were insinuating was that their product will make the women look beautiful, soft and beautiful and natural. Photographers nowadays, especially portrait photographers, when they want to capture that type of a style, they'll envision a CoverGirl type shoot and they'll say, we're going for almost at the girl next door look. So that's where that CoverGirl type style is coming from. What we want to do is I want to show you how I created a really cool magazine style look based off of another look we had. And I'm going to show you a couple new tools that we're using that you never would have thought we would use for portraits, and I think it's going to be amazing. All right? Now, before we begin, we just have to take a moment. We have to thank our partner, Fujifilm, who reminds us, stay safe, stay creative, stay at home. And we're back. Hey guys, welcome. Julie and the rest of you guys, Brian and Russell, when this quarantine thing is over, we all have to get together at some point and actually have a regular meeting in a coffee shop. Nobody's allowed to bring their phones. We'll have our computers out and we can talk about different things we're going to do. All right, so here we are with the image that we're going to end up with. Here's what we're going to start with. And this was the original image that I first created, or I started from. Now, she's backlit, so that's a good sign. And what's neat about this is when I photographed it, I wasn't quite sure how we were going to use the photo. So the image could be used in several different ways. I just happened to really like this crop. And so this could be like a magazine cover. All right, so let's go about editing this. Here's this image here, and I'm going to come down to the history tool, and let's start with the original look. Good, so here we are. Now, let's go to the top, and we're at the essentials. So, how did I first create it? Excuse me, I came over to the looks collection, and under portrait, I tried out the different looks, and the reason why I'm going down this route instead of just giving you the answer, is I want you to see my thought process on how we created, because this was just created earlier this morning. And to create it really fast and quick, I like to start with one of the looks that have already been created and then modify it from there. I hate to say this, it's much like, my relatives make spaghetti sauce, they make their sauce from scratch. I start from a jar and add some stuff to it. Is mine better than theirs? Heck no. But in a pinch, it works. The difference here is this is just like their homemade sauce because myself and other professional photographers from all around the world created these looks for you to start with. All right, so I started with a couple of them. I thought Dreamy would do the work. I like it, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. Believe it or not, the artistic portrait is what did it for me. Looking at this, I can tell, if I come over to the creative tools, that the matte look was applied because it has that matte look feel. So I removed that right away, and now I knew I was very close on creating this look. Now, I'm going to come up to the top, and I could definitely tell this look didn't take advantage of the AI enhancer. This one slider, look at this. Look at that. It automatically improves color, detail, tone, depth of the image. That's my go-to slider. The light tool, look at all of these. This right here is for us photographers that are control freaks sometimes, and you really want more precise control over this. This is where you'll jump into this module or this tool. I am going to enrich the blacks a little bit. pop up the contrast. Good. And then let's bring back some of the highlights just a little bit, just to get the skin a little more even. So when we apply our softening to it, it'll be all the way across. Now, one thing I noticed, and this is what made me remember, before the portrait tools, I used to use, there we go. Before the portrait tools, I used to use structure and clarity back then. I used to use those with a negative value to soften the skin. The problem with that is it also took away the pores. So that's why AI Portrait Enhancer is the best. But I liked what they did here. Look at this. So it's very, very subtle, dialing back some of the small details, large details, and then the medium. This is something you normally don't see with a portrait retouching. So I liked what that did. Now I'm going to go to the bread and butter. Look at this. Before and after. Let me give more room. I'm sorry. Hello, Jamal. Welcome, world. So from here, this mystical tool, look what it's doing for us. It's giving that like dreamy type glow to our look, and I'm liking what it's doing. I want her skin to be a lot more smoother. Notice a lot of this is dealing with desaturating. In fact, if we come back up here under color, reds are found in the skin tone, so that was desaturated. Orange is typically found in the skin tones also, so that was desaturated. So look, before and after, you see how it's bringing the redness out of the face. Now I noticed under mystical, same concept, we brought back some of the saturation, we desaturated it to bring it out. I'm going to bump up the amount just a little bit. Now that I have that all set, here's where we're going to add our flavor to this to give us that real look. Because right now, it looks nice, but it's definitely not a magazine type portrait. So let's come to the portrait tools. And with the skin, AI Skin Enhancer, let's work on the blemish removal. And I'm going to give this a generous amount, not too much like this where it's fake, but just enough right about here. So I still have the pores, but I'm not overboard. So now I have that set. Any shine? Just a little bit, but that's fine. Now, here we are with the portrait enhancer. Remember earlier, we did a high key lesson. A high key means there's not that many shadows in the image. So with the face light, look at this, we're going to give it almost like a high key look because we're going to remove some of the excess shadows. Eye enhancer, look at this. She has beautiful eyes as it is. And these, by the way, are her real lashes. Now the dark circles, pay close attention to the eyes. Watch this. Oh, look at that. Do you see what it just did? It went in between the eyelashes and got rid of some of the darkness inside. So I really loved how it did that. Her eyebrows look good. We'll do a little improvement. And now here's where I'm really going to make sure her lips are getting, there we go, are getting some attention. Now, I wish I had her put lip gloss on, but at the beach, that could be dangerous with all the, the sand. So look at this, before and after. We're getting really close to our look. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. All right, now, notice under the portrait tools, high key is part of that. So high key is part of the portrait tools. And here, I'm going to bump up the amount. Ooh, we're almost there. Let's bring the blacks in a little bit. So I want to get that washed out, no shadows, just that beautiful type glow around for what's represented with high key. Good. And then contrast maybe. That's good right there. All right. Look at that. Before and after. I'm getting really close to what I'm looking for. All right. Now I'm going to come back. I want to jump up to, we're going to come to black and white. Before I do that, though, I want to jump back up here to glow. Now, ironically, inside glow, you have the soft focus, bright, soft focus, and then soft glow. This is where I like to apply the soft focus because I want everything around her to be soft, but her to be sharper. So don't pay attention to her face. Pay attention to what's around it. All right? And I can decide if it's too bright or too dark. Once again, I'm focusing on her shoulder and her hair. Now, every tool has the edit mask. I'm going to use the radial mask here because I want to erase the effect we're creating on just her face, but I want to keep it all around her. So if I come over here, it's showing me exactly where that softness is going to be applied in red and where it's not. Good. I'm going to give it just a little bit bigger. And bring it out a little bit more. There we go. Good. That'll do it. Awesome. So, before, after, which means I can give it just a little more. Yeah, look at that. Do you see what it's doing around the shoulders and around the head? All right, we're almost there. Now, you know what I didn't do earlier this morning, and I'm going to try this while I got you, is let's check the advanced contrast. Here's the highlights. Okay, so this is going to work reverse. This is bringing back the skin color, and I don't want to do that. Let's see the shadows. Okay, so the shadows, yeah, the shadows are fine. And the midtones, nope, don't want to mess with that. All right, so we purposely made sure that we didn't have the skin tones like this. That looks nice. That looks very good, but that's not what we're going for. So I'm going to leave that back. In fact, I'm going to restore that because I don't need it. And again, just because we have the tools doesn't mean we always have to use them. Now, here's where we're going to tie it all together. Ready? Boom! There it is. So I really love this look with the black and white. I love what we did here. Now we have a choice we can make. From here, we could come in under the luminosity, the saturation. And remember we said earlier, remember we mentioned in the face there's red tones and orange, or yellow and orange. So I'm going to dial it back just a little bit. So if I want that soft, muted look, there it is. So that could be one look. In fact, let's click on looks. And I saved this earlier this morning. So let's call this soft glamour. Or we'll call it glamour. And we'll call it soft mute. All right, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it so I don't have to retype it again. Save. Now we have that set. Now let's reset the black and white. And this time I'm going to apply black and white at full strength. There's the look. This time, instead of calling it mute, I'll call it black and white. Save. And now we have two looks that we just created. Now I want to show you something a little bit extra. I'm going to come back down to glow. And here we are with the mask. Let's see something. Oh, here it is. I'm going to copy that mask. All right. Now I'm kind of sneaking in a little bit of a little tip. So Notice I just copied the mask. Now watch why I did this. When I come over here, and let's click Glamour Soft Mute. When I click Glamour Soft Mute, notice with the glow, the mask disappeared. So her face has the glow on her eyes and her face itself. The reason why it didn't record or save the mask is, what if the next image she isn't in that position? She's in a totally different position. That would mean the mask is not in the proper place. So masks are not saved in looks. Now I copied it, so then this way, if I come over here and do edit mask, I can do anyone. I'll just say brush for now. When I come over to the mask tool, I'm going to paste the mask that I just did. Now I don't have to redo it again, and click done. Notice there's the mask. Now, again, before, after, I still got that soft glow all the way around. All right? And then if I do the same thing for the black and white, here's the black and white look. Once again, mask, and paste it. And now I'm pasting it here, and we're set. Now what I would do from this point on is I would click the export button. I would export this glamour, soft glamour, black and white. And then now I have two images that I can use. I have the black and white version, and then I also have the muted color one. All right? So I'm hoping there's questions people have. Good. Awesome. All right, guys, so there we have it. I mean, how cool was that? We added several different tools that we typically wouldn't use in a portrait. I take that back. The detail tools is something we used to use way back in the old days, but the problem with that, and that's why the engineers created the portrait tools, is because it damaged the pores. And so the new portrait tools, the AI portrait tools, make sure that it softens the skin, but it does so by keeping the pores with it. Here we purposely wanted to really smooth it out to give it that over-the-top magazine look. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And again, if you like what we did, please hit that thumbs up button, and then also leave comments. And if you have questions for future shows, let us know, because we can always use new content or different content for upcoming Luminar Coffee Breaks. Well, once again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.